Where's the thing? Hold on. Okay. Pull up the knocking notes. If you want to take that opportunity to introduce yourself, go ahead and do. Should... Oh, click the accept. The other person? Oh my... hold the hell up. I might have done an oopsies, and I did not port over the audio groupings for this. Where is it? Audio, copy, and... Can you say something?
Hello.
Okay. Yeah, they get... Okay, now you're in it. That entire introduction was definitely not just for naught.
For you.
Uh-huh.
That's okay.
Yeah, professional. But yeah, if you don't... do you want to introduce yourself again?
Share chat button. Share
Did I not
chat,
click it?
I think. No, but...
Oh my god.
Now you should see both of our chats.
Maybe?
Question mark?
I'm just gonna have your thing open in general, I guess.
Yeah. I'll just leave it there and we'll see if that did a thing or not. Let me unmute Discord on my end so that they can hear you. They're on my chat too. But yeah, hi. My name is Kinsey. I am a Red Panda VTuber that plays just Maple. As I mean, I feel like all of us are. But
There we go.
You're echoing me.
Yep. Figured it out. Get rid of that third table. Yes.
Good. Okay. But yeah, I'm definitely just like a basic Mapler. I've got up to like the black page, I think, at this point. Like I'm just a baby bitch. I don't do the big kid stuff yet, but I've been playing Maple since it came out when I was in high school, so I'm just an old lady that plays too much Maple.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
And as you guys already know, my name is Peanut. This second episode of the podcast series is mostly just to see what Nexon is doing, what they're intending, and maybe if there's any underlining things specifically about the new community manager thing, as well as the fact that you might have seen that second announcement. We'll go over that in a bit. But I think that one was more towards that one person on the Maplestory Discord who was openly complaining because they got... I'm not going to get into that detail, but let's just say they're just whining a lot, and it triggered the new community manager lead to post something, but we'll get to that, like I mentioned. But yeah, this is to go over to see what we're going to be expecting, what we can expect, and what we hope to see happen because there is a new leader managing all the community manager teams for every single game in Nexon in general. Initially, I thought it was actually just going to be for Maplestory, but after I reread it, because, you know, Maplestory players, we don't read, we just skim it at all. They said they're going to be coming back, which they originally were from Maplestory M. I don't know if that's going to be saying that they were from within the company, going to take over that position, or they left the company a while ago and came back after they saw this opportunity. Because if I remember correctly, on the careers page for Nexon, I think I saw them have actually a job opening for that one. Either way, regardless of the fact, the end result is the fact that we have a new community manager leader for all of the teams. And that leads me to doing this episode of the podcast to see we actually have people have a perspective and have other Maplestory streamers or content creators in general to see what they have their opinion or thoughts are and what they can expect and what we can expect as a whole. This cast duel is not my bingo card. Yeah, pretty much. They are just a former bean, and we're just having more and more. I'd like to actually branch out to other people eventually, but I am, how did they say this, very dog water when it comes to doing networking. I don't know how to do that properly. But yeah,
no, I get that.
I don't know how to do that. I just ping in the Discord and I'm like, is anyone I want to do? No? Okay, I'll do it myself. But yeah, hopefully I'd like to see this.
We should probably, like, just to make sure we're all on the same page, we'll, like, go over the first post that he made.
Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, I would like to get over to the talking points before that. Unless you think it'd be a good idea to go over the announcement first. Actually, logically, That would make more sense. Let me just go find the 30, 40 billion sources that I put because I am good at this. Okay, that's the
Would you
first
like me to
announcement.
read it while you
wait.
set it up?
Did I not save that one? Hold up, where are you? Block
I'm right
you
here.
all. Put this one.
Hello?
There we go.
I wiggle it. Do you see me?
Yes. You guys are probably not going to be able to see it, but should probably find a better formatting for this one, but I'm going to go open this on my own end so I can actually read it better. Let's see, announcements number 1. Alright, for the first announcement, unless you want to read it or I read it.
Up to you.
Okay, I'll read it then. Unless you...
Go for it.
Okay. Right, so as you can probably see, this was the first... Oh, wait, no, this is the second one. Hold up, I'm good at this. Hold up. To the Discord! Alright. Copy and paste. Oh, I think I know what I did. I think I accidentally saved over the original one.
Ooh.
Alright. Save you. Save this one. I'm going to call it announcement number 0 because I'm good at data saving. Alright, that's you.
Clearly.
That's you. Because I posted number 1 and I put number 0. Alright, so with that, number 0 is up. Let me just squeeze it. As you guys can probably not be able to read it because it's small as hell. I'll read on my end. Alright. Callahan says his first post when they actually got here was, "Hi Maplers, for those who don't know me, nice to meet you all. For those who may remember me from Maplestory M and other Nexon games, hello again." You're saying that a lot, aren't you? Hi there, buddy. I'm Callahan, and I've returned to Nexon as the manager of the community team. I'll be working closely with the CMs Taco, Miso, and Pot Raro. I'm gonna call them Potato because I suck at English. Along with our VMs to support Maplestory and strengthen the bridge between our players and internal teams. While I've worn many hats during my time at Nexon, this is my first time working on Global Maplestory team, and I'm incredibly excited to be back and provide support for a game that I've played since its release. Fellow senior. I'm still in the process of catching up, digesting current workflows, understanding my key community topics, and oh, you're gonna have a long list there, buddy, and reviewing ongoing concerns. Hopefully, you'll start to see some effort soon as I focus on improving our methods to effectively engage with you all, advocate for your concerns, and help create a more welcoming, constructive space. I think he copy and pasted something because that solid bracket line shouldn't be there. Okay. Respectful and meaningful feedback is what drives our direction. I'll be relying on your insights and support as I get up to speed. Let's build something great together. Callahan. Well, optimistic, but
Definitely sounds like he worked on Maple M and other shit prior.
yeah.
And then left the company and has come back and is coming back to GMS.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's
the wording.
Yeah, but I'm hoping the underlying factor about this one is the fact that he's actually played since release, as he said. I'm hoping that also means that we can expect them to actually have someone who cares about the game in the company again and who actually understands the game. As you guys would probably remember, to those who are old enough in here or part of the old community, you would probably remember that we had some community managers who came onto the game who didn't know anything about the game, like, oh, what's mana? You're on the kinesis there, buddy. Yeah. Although that's like a very old thing, but
I will say though, if he's the manager of the community team,
yes,
I feel like he's middle management. I feel like he should definitely have a base understanding of what the game is and what we care about as players. But
especially his
actual whether or not he can pass will test, I don't really give a shit, right? He's there to handle other people who actually interface with us.
Yeah, and I'm hoping the fact that, like I said, I don't really care if he knows how to do the boss. I want to know if he knows the game and how to do the bosses. Because if you hear a complaint complaint ABC, what the hell does that mean? I don't understand this. And then if you can't piece the complaint to the actual components of the game and actually understand it from their perspective, it is kind of just pointless. What passing it will test should be in an interview.
For though too, right?
Sure. What was that?
I think that's why you have CMs and VMs. So no. The idea that hey, we're seeing if he's the guy that aggregates the data together, be hey, we're getting a lot of feedback about X, Y, and Z. If he's their manager, I feel like is it kind of not on them to explain him what he wants?
Ultimately,
management, right?
yeah, ultimately that's what ends up happening. Management, leader, no, management is pretty much just a boss. Leaders rarely ever are a thing, and what a leader is, leaders lead by example. They actually do things. Bosses just tell you what to do. Having an actual leader and them using that wordage and the fact that he has this background with the game since release, I'm hoping that's the case.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But as for his second post, although I don't think I should really bring up the second post, mostly because it was... I'm willing to bet if anyone like has a second monitor and when they play Maplestory they have the second thing open, it's mostly just yap and whatnot. But I'm going to go over it briefly. I'm not going to go over it entirely, but I feel like it would be important just to include it, just to see the fact that he actually said something and he's actually going out of his way to say something. But contextually speaking, this second post was because somebody in the Maplestory Discord was complaining about a mod muting them because they're posting very... I'm pretty sure they're just rage baiting and trolling, but that's besides the point. But yeah,
I'm not sure he that posted... specifically could like guarantee or to be like just on one person. I feel like during the maintenance there was a lot of that, right?
Yeah,
like,
but I'm willing to bet since this person was pinging mods for like a good 30-40 minutes.
Yeah, like that person's probably just gonna get fucking banned because like you don't do that. But like,
yeah, some people. I'm pretty sure that's the reason why I'm thinking of rage baiting.
Yeah, I think the idea of just kind of trying to create a space within the Discord that's actually focused on getting information out without the like doomerism that kind of comes with complaining.
Yeah. And unfortunately,
like an overall good thing.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I feel like the dooming and lack of better words to put it, brain rot is essentially it becoming a key focal point of the game. Like, whether we like to admit it or deny it, it's part of us at this point. Some people own the shit out of that.
It's the dark side of Maple.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. But yeah. But these are some changes that he is highlighting about the suggestions and feedback thing. As part of our efforts to make the Discord a more welcoming and constructive place, I want to quickly address the suggestion and feedback channel and our approach moving forward. We absolutely want your feedback, and this channel is incredibly important to us. We understand that recent situations have caused a lot of frustration, and while the feelings behind these comments are valid, we've noticed that the nature of the post in the channel has gradually shifted, which, by all definitions, it had the Reddit effect happen onto it. It's fuck, to say the least. And to ensure that feedback remains effective and visible, we will be applying the existing rules more consistently to help keep submissions focused and actionable, which I'm actually kind of glad. Ironically speaking, the trolling and brain rotting and rage baiting and trolling has actually caused them to actually have to read. Whether it determines whether or not they actually read and, more importantly, listens to it is a drastically comparable difference on that one, so it's going to be yes or yay or nay on this one. I can't really tell. A few reminders that we continue moderation efforts. Feedback must be constructive and specific. Yep, no more just posting that very odd salute Spiegelman image. I don't know why they thought that image was a good idea to make. Keep feedback respectful and focused. Good luck with that. Duplicate feedback, whether copied or identical in intent, will be removed in favor of the reaction-based voting system. Oh, are they going to bring back that bot that actually... Ooh, that'd be good, because if I remember correctly, old enough...
It's already there.
Yeah. Oh, the new reaction bot?
Yeah, as soon as you post something into the feedback section, it adds a check or an exit.
Oh, that's the old one. Never mind. I thought they brought back the older, better one.
Oh, I don't know that one.
I don't remember what was good about it, but I know it was like significantly better. Taiwan MS made that image. Asked them why they made it. Oh yeah, tight. Oh yeah, never mind. There's a lot of things we can say about that, but I'm not going to say it because I do not want to bring up that kind of stuff. But yeah, comments that include harassment, targeted remarks, or content meant to solely to provoke or vent without context may be removed to maintain the channel's purpose. That's valid. Repeated ignoring these rules may result in losing access to posting in that channel. That guy did. This isn't about limiting your voice. It's about making sure that what you say has the best chance to be seen, understood, and acted upon. When concerns are framed with context and a suggestion, we can better advocate for the changes that matter the most to you. You can still hold discussions on matters on other channels as long as they follow server rules. We're also actively working to improve how feedback is collected, reviewed, and shared with internal teams. Moderation is just one part of the process, and in the meantime, please continue to share your thoughts here. Thank you for helping us keep this space constructive for everyone. I'm hoping that's what he means like going forward, because it's screwy at that point. It's like it's been going ironically, I'm complaining about it, but it's doing some good. But yeah.
The changes.
Ultimately
that,
negative. Was that?
My brain like stopped halfway through my sentence and I lost it.
Yeah, me too.
The the thing that I find just kind of odd in general is that like, because okay, so I should preface this with that I don't go into the Maplestory Discord unless I kind of really have to, because there's generally not anything there that I really feel like kind of carries a lot of information for me. Like I just siphon the announcements off to my own shit anyways, so like I'm not really actively in that space. But I took a look at the feedback section, and it's since been brought to my attention that they tried something like this before and it didn't work out. But like,
Yeah.
why is that space just not a thread discussion? Like it just seems so much simpler if your like goal is to like aggregate feedback to like be able to let people have discussions about the individual topics, but like let each topic be a thread that people can talk about in. Like if somebody puts in feedback, then just let people have like the discussion within that little thread section without just like having it be weird and like people having to reply back to each other and like it just being kind of like a mess of different conversations. Like it just seems
Yeah,
odd
not
from a
gonna
design
lie.
point.
I think you're the first person I've ever heard say something about threads. That would legitimately be better. Yeah, especially because I know threads can have tags. This would be way simple.
Yeah.
This will solve the problem. That was, well, not the problem, but it'll solve a problem of the many that's in there. Yeah,
Yeah,
that should
because
be
if
in
I
there.
look at it right now, it's like, how am I supposed to know? Like, the voting will let people know if, like, hey, we actually care about this because 18
Right.
people voted. Like, hey, we like this thing. But like, just having to scroll through people's trying to like have a conversation about the feedback they're suggesting and also just other feedback. Like, if you post something and something else like gets talked about over your post, nobody's gonna fucking see it anyways. So like,
And we know damn well no one in, I would say Maplestory, but no one in general in today's day and age. What's Control F? What's the search function? People are not intellectually and
they're
technologically
gonna
smart
scroll until
anymore.
they get bored,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
'Cause I ask, like,
And
it happens
I
a lot in the other discords. Like, how do I do this? It's in there. Just search the keywords. But I can't. You don't deserve help at that
it's
point.
like they deserve to be taught how to use Discord if they don't know how to. But like after it's been asked once and you show
Okay,
them, it
that
should
that's
never
not
be
even the
done
thing.
again.
It's the
But
search function. We grew
yeah,
up
it's
with
there.
Google.
Yeah, but people are like extra dumb nowadays.
Hey, ChatGPT, how do
Critical
I do
thinking's
this?
gone out the fucking window, man. Like,
Yeah, if
who
I'm the
knows how to do that shit anymore?
if I'm not the dumbest person in the room anymore, it's concerning. I'm not the smartest. I'm a smart idiot, but if you out idiot the idiot, it's concerning. Ugh.
Yeah, it's a time. But like I think that it'd be really cool to have something more structured because like if their goal is to be able to like access what we want, it just makes sense to be able to like front and center be like I want
Right.
this and then here's my like essay after the message in the comments on that thread being like this is why I want all these things kind of thing. You
Yeah,
know
the
what I mean?
thread's
Like it
definitely
just
gonna be a
seems
good idea to push.
it'd be nice. I did put it in the suggestion thingy, so if you want
Yeah.
threads,
Oh,
click
yeah,
on the thing,
definitely.
I guess.
Yeah. I feel like
Apparently, I was told that it had happened previously that they put the suggestions as threads.
really.
But what Discord does is that if your thread hasn't been like touched for like
Ah,
a
that's
week, it
true.
goes inactive. So it's not like
Yeah.
front and center when you go to that thing, but it's still there. Like just because it goes inactive doesn't mean it disappears.
There should be no. There should be a way to make it like exist. I think the tag system is what makes it last because I know in some class discords they have like training maps, FAQs in threads, and I think the tags keep them present. Either way, the volunteer mods and the staff on there should explore it again, especially since I'm pretty sure back then when they did do it, it was like way back then. Threads have actually developed a little bit further, so who knows?
Yeah.
Who
Somebody in my
knows?
chat also just mentioned that Discord has an active limit of 1,000 threads, so there's like the Discord limit.
Oh,
to
yeah,
But
that's
I
gonna be a problem
think
too.
the way that you can circumvent that, they've already kind of touched on in their little support section, because the somebody mentions that like, hey, like all of the like most liked or most upvoted things are going to be moving to a special channel that has like the top talked about things. So I feel like like the ability, or even just like to copy paste it over from the person's original thing and create a thread of like most asked about or most appreciate, like most desired feedback to that separate channel would, I think, circumvent the idea of like running out of thread space in feedback.
They should definitely have a tag system for it though, just to like they go for the more
Yes.
smarter of the communities to actually better find things, because people don't know how to search things anymore. There should be like a mini guide on it though. Past the part about the post from Callan himself, the fact that we have the new leader made me come up with these talking points, which I'd like to discuss. Although it would have been nice to have more people, but since we got you and me and generalized chat, let's see if we can actually get them to talk. Let me just put this away real quick. But yeah. For the first one I actually have is, compared to previous instances where it was just new community managers just being added in general, just as a placeholder, role fillers, whatever you want to call it, what do you think the reason for there being a new leadership position being changed now rather than just a new addition? What do you think is the purpose?
I think the most likely thing that comes to mind for me is that they're not struggling with like having liaisons, they're struggling with organization. Like the
Definitely.
idea of having a manager seems to be like, is generally just to make the unit function more cohesively. So if they, instead of like, you know, one person telling Potaro something and somebody else telling Taco something, like they have like a single point that they can funnel to, which can then disperse out.
Yeah. How about five first? What are the three community managers actually doing that requires a manager for them? Yeah, but that's a good point, Titan. But back to the question on top of what you wrote as well, Titan. I think the issue underlying that is the fact that what Kenzie said, too many voices equals everything keeps dispersing. It's better to have someone up at the top where the person above them can talk to them as well, rather than one person talking down to like 3 or 4 people, where it gets like, are you gonna do it? They're gonna do it. Everyone's gonna the labor's gonna get split to the point where it's just gonna get lazy, and it's just not gonna have anyone like actually on top of it. I'm hoping with the actual leadership position being filled, it's going to have somebody who is going to be able to just talk to the person above them directly by gathering feedback from the people below them and bringing it up, rather than just 4 people talking to that one person and hoping it actually gets through. Because having somebody actually in their respective role that needs to be there, it should actually help with this, unless there's just on the career page that they needed to fill the position and finally someone just took the job. I'm hoping it's not the latter.
For sure. I also think that
Yeah.
like, I don't know if you remember from during the that like post that they did about the Challenger World reset happening at like a different time.
Right.
That post itself got like re-edited like 3 or 4 times because it just kept
Right.
like the information kept changing on that thing. And I feel like this is kind of one of those situations where like somebody was probably talking to the person to set that up, but that person probably didn't have like specific information that they needed to like just make
Right.
that call, so it got redone a bunch of times. And I feel like just having that like flow of information kind of just be like at least given to a central space and then sent out, like I feel like stuff like that can also be avoided too, because shit like that
Right.
also just like immediately makes things more confusing for
Yeah.
like us as a player base, because like we don't know what's right anymore if you change things 5 times, right?
Right. It's always a problem with it, especially with the patch notes. If I'm counting this correctly, the past 6 patch notes have been disgustingly terrible. The previous events patch notes did not
Yes.
get edited a single time except to sneakily add in the transfer event. That's it. But as also Titan mentioned, I mean, already the new CMN manager is doing a better job of what the 3 CMNs are doing, being very vocal, that's true. Granted, we don't see that on the back end of what they are doing. Honestly, Titan, I think the problem with that is because of the past couple of community managers who actually gave a damn about the game and actually knew the game and actually cared enough. I think the fact that they were too vocal and by definition broke the NDAs that they more than likely signed or went around proper chain of command, I'm willing to bet that's the reason what happened to them being let go from the company, which is also tying into the fact that the new CMs that we've got brought on, the fact that we have no previews screens for like a long, long time, I'm pretty
I
sure
think
it's
they've been
because I'm pretty sure it's because of the ones that predated them caused a tighter leash, metaphorically speaking, to be tied around them and preventing them from being as vocal as they would like. I mean, assume that's the reason.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like
Mm.
what your predecessors will definitely kind of create
Yeah.
your workspace for you depending on what happens, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think the nice thing too is that like I really hope that this means that we're going to start getting detailed patch notes. Like
Or at
I'm
least
okay
proofreaded
with
ones,
occasionally if stuff's like a little fucky, right? Like if you can see somebody copy
to
pasted
put it lightly.
something and like didn't like change the word that they were supposed to, like you could still like context
Yep.
clues give you the information you need kind of shit. But when
Death
like
Note.
we get a new character and it's like here's all of their like skills and all it says is like unleashes starlight, you're like cool, what the fuck does that do? Like
Yeah.
when
Give
I
us
see like
hitbox data.
if I get yeah, like if I get patch notes for something that's like new and shiny and I'm like, oh my god, I want to know everything about this, give me information. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to have to try to guess what something does. I want the
Yeah.
patch notes to tell me what it
Yeah.
does.
No word vomit.
Right.
Actual technical details. Right. As for the second point I would like to go over is, since CM Callahan is returning to Nexon as the head for all the CMs for Nexon America, do you think we'll see anything big in that regards? I don't really care about the other games. They can take care of their own deal. I want to know for us. Or was this simply a move that Nexon is doing simply because they know how disgruntled their players have been becoming over the past 2 years alone? At least for Maplestory, that is.
Brain, no brain. One time.
Yeah.
What? That was
Yeah,
you
okay, hold
talk
on.
very fast. I didn't catch it.
Or actually, how do we play the new class? Let's see it in action. Let some people who actually want to play the game try another class. Yeah, I feel like something like a brand, well, not really a technically brand new class, but I feel like if you're gonna port something over, you should have probably talked to a couple of the people who played it on the actual platform itself, and before bringing it over, so we can actually have people like give us something detailed, or at the very least, outsource a like request to one of the players saying, "Hey, would you be willing to do like a contracted technical guide write up so we can port it over?" I feel like that should have been done. You should have definitely had someone test it instead of just doing like a showcase. The showcase is nice, but you're showing ultimately pretty pictures. You're not showing us the do.
And like that showcase was just like, here's what the skills kind of look like ish.
Mm-hmm.
But like to actually just have somebody like, you know how kind of like the most of the skill previews that people do videos of, right? Where it's like
Right.
mouse over each of the individual sections and then use said skills kind of thing. Like even that, even something as simple as just that embedded into the patch notes so that you can just go through what's in, like obviously that's like Tespia data too, right? Like
Right.
it may still be subject to change. Granted, we usually get our patch notes like less than 24 hours before the actual patch comes out, so the likelihood of that information changing at that point is a little bit more slim, I feel
Yeah.
like. But just to have something like just a little like that, like I will say that
More
the most recent
cohesive,
patch
like
notes,
right. Yeah, like
yeah,
Riot did a great
the
job
most
of
recent
showcasing their
patch
new
notes.
channels.
Oh,
Copied
sorry.
them. Yeah, Nexon needs to start copying other companies. Copy like Riot's fucking showcasing. They need to copy old school RuneScape's community-driven polls and actual feedback system.
Give me a wiki. Give me a wiki with rates. Holy fucking shit. Give me a wiki with rates.
It would be nice, honestly. Ultimately speaking, I'm halvesies on that situation. Like, should we get it? Do we need to get it? It'd be nice to have a tangible number system. But yeah, I've been talking
I
for
think
5
it's
hours.
just
Oh
one of
no,
those
it's only been
things.
30 minutes so far. Yeah.
I think that like a big thing for like the idea of having like centralized data and like a wiki that has like fully
Yeah.
fleshed out, that feels kind of like backed by the company, you know what I mean?
Right.
Is just like, sure, you're gonna see you have like a 1 in 250,000 chance of getting your pitch or something, like something stupid and
Right.
like astronomically sad. Like the visual, the knowledge, kind of unfortunate, but at the same time, when you hit, you could like fucking screen cap that, should be like, well, look what I fucking got, right? Like the same way that it kind of like will dismay someone, I think it will hype someone else up too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ultimately, I agree that having actual set data points to actually refer to is a good thing, but I feel like at the same time, the amount of the average intelligence of how people quantify that data is going lower and lower. Like, for example, the Terraria. You know what Terraria is, right? The game?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so for example, their subreddit. Holy crap. a lot of people don't understand. Like, if you give people the data, it's not like they're gonna be able to digest it properly. Like, yes, we have the data, but is it gonna do us any good? Ultimately, bottom line, give us the data. If the people want to be stupid with the numbers, let them be stupid. Because I swear to God, on Terraria, their Wikipedia says this item is a 5% drop chance. Oh, that means if I kill 5 of these creatures, I should get out of 100 times I've killed them, I should get 5 of them. Go back to school. You don't know statistics. Yeah, like ultimately the data would be good. Let the players be stupid or smart with it is up to them. Back to the second talking point.
Wikipedia is known to be wrong too.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, as for the second talking point, since that's pretty much identical to the first one, I'm gonna skip over it. The third one I'm gonna cover is this is both for you and everyone in the chat. What are some things you hope to see now that there's a new CM leadership? Some of the things I want to see going forward is I want to start seeing previews again, like preview streams or just preview videos at most. Better communication, openingness, English, whatever that word is. Openness, whatever you want to call that.
Openness.
Yeah. Better communication. Actual communication that they promised us 4.5 years ago about saying, hey, we're going to communicate, we're going to be transparent. Give that back. Actually, don't say something if you're not going to follow through with it, so shut up or do it. And improvements to patch notes, having an actual QC behind it. And lastly, and I don't think a lot of people really care about this, but this is something I want to see change, terms of service changes towards community-related things, or just in general. Like, for example...
Oh, like what?
Griefers. Stealing loot. Griefing content. Like the ones who put chairs on jump quests. Like, although I would argue that Nexon is also being blatantly stupid. If it happened 2, 3, 4 times and you didn't stop it the second time, you're kind of stupid. That's on you. Yeah, they're allowing it. Yeah, Nexon's inaction and lack of fucks to give towards those incidences just shows that it's an event. Let them take care of it. It's really, it's like. Why do you hate your customers so much that you are incapable of seeing your mistake happen once, going, we should probably pay attention to it. Second time, okay, happening, okay, yeah, we should probably definitely put that on the to-do list. Actually, in fact, put it on the to-do list. Third time, before you release the third time, you put the fucking thing on a QC and you prevent it from happening. But no, it's happened so many times. Yeah.
How many times about what, though? Like, what's a specific instance that you can recall?
Oh, like grieving?
Well, I mean, like, if, like... Do you mean just, like, making it so that people can't, like, put chairs in front of important, like, NPCs or something? Like,
yeah, blocking people, preventing people... Oh, yeah. Just making the map unable to have a chair sat down on. That is literally the most easy fix ever. I don't know coding, I don't know programming, but I'm pretty sure having a code that says, if try to sit chair, fuck you.
If chair equals no.
Literally.
I mean, they've done that with other maps, so I can see, like, I don't see how that's... Like,
it took them 3 years.
Difficult thing.
It took them 3 damn years. Yeah. Well, yeah, but what are some things you want to see? Because those are some things I want done.
Yeah, no, I agree. Those are all good points. I definitely seconding the extra information when it comes to patch notes. Like, patch notes with numbers, please. Not just fancy text. I would like numbers.
Yeah. At least Miso is putting in effort.
Yeah. The return to maybe honestly, I feel like streams are a little bit more dicey because it's a live environment, and
yeah, it would allow people to harass
don't like doing
CMs.
These in live environments because it tends to create more headache than it's worth. But
Yeah.
I think the idea of a preview video where they go over and talk about the
Actual
new events,
data.
showcase a few things here and there.
Yeah, don't show me the colors. Just show me the things.
Yeah, like the even just going over like opening the UI for the event before the event comes out, so you can see everything that's in it, kind of thing, in a preview. Like that shit gets people hype about the content too, right? So like,
Yeah.
I
show
think
us the
video
limitations.
format- yeah, I think the video format for that would go a long way to kind of like help people feel like they're like getting data without it opening up like the actual CMs to just hate, right?
Right.
And just vitriol in the fucking chat type shit.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's a good
yeah.
in between.
Yeah, get a Q&A put out before you do the video so you can actually do... Like, I want them there to be previews but at the same time not, because I don't trust the player base to not be like violent fucking animals. It's happened before. Like, oh, give us blue stamps, give us cards, all the shut up. We get the point.
Buy
But
me
the
a
problem,
Ferrari.
yeah, like one of the other things like I liked about CMs doing back before they got fired was the ones on the previous that said, hey, could you actually show us this UI and actually hover over it so we actually see what the limitations are, and they do it. Boom, information being confirmed. It's very good. Obviously, it's in test server, it's subject to change, but having something to go off of rather than just going like, like twiddling your thumbs, like just like waiting, like it's just, it's
That, and
like
also,
baiting
like,
crack
a
in
lot
front
of
of a
times
kraken.
we then have to like deal with the kind of making assumptions about information that we get
Right.
from different regions too, which might
Right.
also not be completely
And it
accurate to
literally has been
how like,
changing.
it's going to be impacted here, and that's
Right.
also changing a lot. So it's like you can't really necessarily just go, oh yeah, like because KMS has it, we're gonna get it, or because it's TMS data, like we're gonna like even the lin changes that we got weren't the same that that TMS had,
precisely.
right? So like there's always that kind of like little
The margin of
bullshit
error
like
is
that
too
makes
big.
it kind of like it would just be a lot easier to have something kind of within ourselves kind of shit for like
Right.
stuff that our CMs can do that would kind of bring up hype for stuff, but it would also just give us information, because I feel like that's the thing that like Maplers just fucking foam at the mouth for the most, is just data about shit before you get shit.
Yeah, we don't want to just like let our like the more we let the more you let the fucking crazy people like go wild with their imaginations, the more they start cementing like, I'm expecting this, I want this, you better give us this.
And
It's
when they
better
don't
just to
deliver,
like
it's great.
yeah, just like set it like a bottom limit and then just add up on top of it when you actually get to the point where you can actually sell it to us at that point. It's stupid.
Yeah. I also kind of like we touched on it before, but having like a like single space with just everything about Maple kind of shit, like the like having the wiki be like as fleshed out as humanly possible, like having
Yeah.
CMs like work with the people that make the wiki type shit. I think that would be really cool to like be able to like fact check things and shit like that, have more data
Right.
there. I also feel like that is a really huge like information pool that helps onboard new players.
Right.
And I
As
think
much as
that's
I,
just something
yeah,
that like I feel like we as Maplers don't really like pay too much attention to, is the idea of like what's the new player experience like. And a lot of
Right.
people, especially for grindy games, come from other things like old school RuneScape, or like things like fucking even ARPGs and shit like that, where you're just you're continuously doing the same content over and over again. So like having information that you can just direct a new person to would be amazing. And I'm glad that they added the tutorial thing in the summer that kind of like has like
Yeah.
the beginnings of things, but
They're making
having
they're making
actual
progress.
concrete information to give to a new player so that you can onboard them better, instead of being like, hey, you're gonna need to join these like 4 different discords, and like this person mains your class, so just watch their Twitch for anything, because like that's not like that's overload for a lot of people that like don't want to fucking have to deal with that kind of shit. Whereas if you could just be like, hey,
Some
here's
people
the
just want to
wiki on,
direct, like they want to be spoon fed it, which I don't agree
yeah,
with.
and it's like I don't even know if it needs to be like necessarily need to be spoon feeding, but like if I was a new player coming into the game right now and I like max burned something and I hit 260, I'd be like, holy fucking shit, I don't know what the fuck
Yeah,
I'm doing.
that's-
There's
that
like
one's a
80
problem.
billion
That one's a
different
problem.
systems, and like that kind of thing. Like that's why I don't really like these like events like we're having right now are really great for bringing new people in, but I feel like at the same time it's kind of like a catch-22, because like you're gonna overwhelm that person unless someone's literally holding them by the hand being like, it's okay, I'm not gonna lose you to the fucking speed of the river type shit. Like
Right.
we're gonna get you through this. So I feel like just having information out that like we as like veterans of this game at this point can point to like ease people into stuff, I think would be really
Yeah.
nice. And so I'm hoping that like if we have more resources being given to like what our CMs can do and like workload and stuff like that, like the ability to kind of like start to just give more in those spaces would be really nice.
Yeah, I think the only reason why a lot of
my
veteran
picture.
players don't really like helping a lot of people too often are the ones who are like completely sick and tired of people asking, like the saying of like there's no stupid questions is just wrong. There are not really stupid questions, but lazy questions. Some things I will agree that you can Google, some things you can't Google, but the ones that you can look up, you should look up. If you can't find it, then you ask somebody. If you Google it and you find the data, but you can't understand it, then you can ask somebody. But people just blatantly asking, what is the Legion system? What does this part of it do? What's this familiar system? If you just look at the fucking wiki, it actually shows you the examples. Yeah. Like what they do with it, also or give high burn to newly created accounts. Actually, I don't agree with that, Babu, only because I know that Maplestory has a very active black market for selling and buying accounts. I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea.
So I'm just like, there's no stupid questions, just stupid answers and like fucking facts. Because if you try to look something up about Maplestory and you get like 3 different Reddit posts that all kind of give vaguely-ish similar information,
especially
like,
with the freaking
that's
Google
where it
AI
gets muddy, right?
summarizing it.
Yeah, exactly. Like the data you're gonna get from a search can only take you so far.
Yeah.
I think like when it comes to, you know, somebody coming in and being like, hey, Legion looks kind of nuts. What the fuck do I do? It'd be nice to be able to like point them to be like, hey, here's the page on the wiki. Even fucking go through it if you have the time, kind of thing, to explain like things to people.
If you have any questions
I can
on the
absolutely, yeah. Like I think the first initial response to somebody asking a question that's just generally like, hey, I'm new. Here's the thing. Like, give them tools first. If you give them tools and they're like, hey, I checked, but like I'm still not really sure. This uses a lot of like, maybe it uses a lot of Maple terms that like they're not gonna know type shit. Like then you can kind of give them, like, carry them on their way. But like the idea of just immediately shutting somebody down for not like immediately knowing kind of thing, like that's where it gets kind of like, oh, come on.
Yeah. It's a multi-pronged problem because I feel like a lot of the veterans just being burnt out by people asking the dumb questions is also compounded by the fact that some people don't know how to ask questions. Like some people said, like one person literally said, like, so hey guys, why did my culvert go up by 5,000 points from last week? I don't know why. I'm like, well, you didn't give us any details, so why the hell would anyone help you if you don't give us the details? Or like, why is this system not working? Like you just say it's not working. If you don't ask. People of today's age don't know how to ask questions, which is also one of the sides of the problem. Kind of try to admit, like, to the public, they didn't know shit about the class. Yeah, that too.
I think one of the things that, like, at least I feel like I've noticed over the last few years in terms of, like, it's just people's threshold for resistance is just a lot lower. Like,
yeah.
I feel like if somebody runs into a hurdle, or like in like a game and has that kind of like I don't know what to do now, like I'm just gonna log out type shit, like those quit moments kind of thing. Like I feel like people's like tolerance for quit moments is just not to the the degree that was, I think, even like 5 or 10 years ago. Like I think people are just pretty used to like just getting their shit kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
we got the games like Dark Souls, like, for fuck's sakes. Patience is something that a lot of people don't have anymore. Dark Souls is a notoriously difficult game, and you can die from like the smallest thing, and people will love it.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah. I mean, I think people usually say to start with Elden Ring, right? Because that's supposed to be one of the
you think so?
introduction.
I haven't actually played it because I didn't have a computer that I could actually run it without blowing up.
That's fair. It is at least. But yeah, like people's ability to just be patient is not where it used to be, I feel like, overall. Yeah. But also on top of that too, the like idea is like, then how does Maplestory fit into that world? Because Maplestory is patience.
Yeah.
Like,
it's either grind or market.
Yeah, and either one's going to require you to just kind of slog through shit, right?
Yeah, buying and selling takes a while, so there's, and then grinding, like,
build up money
literally
in the first place.
And the profit margins are small if you don't get the right thing, unless you accidentally buy a Breath of Divinity for 180 mil. Ooh, you fucked up, buddy. God. Yeah, they sold it for 1%.
Goodness.
Yeah, some
That's
people
so
are bad. The problem is that we live in a world of TikTok and people with small attention span. That is very true. Infinite scroll wheel is what people do.
The doom scroll.
Yeah.
So it's like, you kind of have to be able to bring people into your game with, like, a new shiny or whatever. Or at least I feel like for Maplestory too, a lot of the times what brings people into Maple is other Maplers already. Like, you know somebody who plays,
Right.
and you're like, I'll give it a shot, kind of thing. So I feel like as long as, and I think that like Maple, like Nexon, at least to me, feels like it's going in the right direction with this kind of shit. But like, they're adding things to make onboarding someone better. And like, I don't know if you guys saw the showcase portion where they had in KMS, they had the like an actual tutorial that like had no benefit to do if you were already like established. So it was one of those things where like, oh, you gotta do it or else you're gonna miss extra like whatever the fucks. But literally just like a thing that explained like, hey, this is how you do familiars, this is how you do XYZ. And it kind of looked like similar to the summer showcase that we got.
Yeah, that's also true.
So like,
I think
glad
it's removing
in there.
removing unnecessary drivel and unnecessary FOMO is definitely a good thing, because you're creating issues just by trying to cover all your bases when you should just separate it. Nexon, from what I can tell, seems to be afraid of taking big steps that are needed and taking like the itty bitty ones. Although I'm pretty sure Nexon's just doing it on purpose to milk the hell out of it so they can claim credit. Like, I know for a fact they don't do all the good changes that we know we need. Like, for example, buff sequence for skills, great. Where's the item one? Oh, you're gonna make it way later? Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure they stretch it across, an entire fucking calendar time period in order to actually just show that they're doing good, which honestly, good job, but at the same time, I hate you for it, because you literally could be doing so much better instead of just milking it.
I think it's just a like issue of resources too, though. Like, we
They're
can
a $14 billion
only say so
company.
much when... Yeah, but we're not. GMS isn't 14 billion, right? Like, Nexon as a whole, sure,
Nope.
but we're not the only
but
thing Nexon
I
has.
refuse to believe that the branched off company, which is like a sister or brother company, or what do you want to call that, I refuse to believe that you are incapable or unwilling to allocate funds to hire the necessary people, you outsourced to freaking VTubers for the AB collab that you didn't even advertise. You outsourced the animations to another animator 3-4 times, and you can't afford the people to fix the problems. Hell, the Kana's second mastery core still doesn't work properly. The scrapyard disconnect hack reason, that thing is over 3,300 days old. I'm tracking it. I have an Excel sheet of this BS. There are a massive studio that is working on multiple projects at the same time, which they should stop doing that many projects that they're incapable of handling appropriately. Because is there any other company who's doing this much who's also outputting this many problems? Like, for the first fix of the older problems, many times we have to come across IDL realignment error. That one, I feel like they should have found a well-adjusted fix they should have definitely found one by now, but I don't understand. That one seems like a complex problem. Everything else is like, why is Sia not working like this? Why is this new thing bug like this? Why is this new piece of content wrong? Why is my buff favorite bar UI still not locked in what you said it was when you said you fixed it one patch ago? Yeah. Like, look at the most important metric. They're still making bucks of money while doing a shitty job. And yeah, because they know they have the Apple company effect. You have a cult following. Why do you think all boycotts fail for Maplestory? Why do you think the Don't Send movement always fail? Because Maplestory players are like the Apple fucking fan base. You are incapable of doing what's needed to make it work, or you don't care enough, and you're just gonna buy into the product. It's pretty much just that. Why do you think Apple's products are so garbage but their company's still so successful? It's because they have the cult mentality behind them. That's why I'm pretty sure that we don't have that kind of stuff that we need to be done. Which is why I don't think Nexon has enough pressure to do what needs to be done. I won't argue the fact that they're trying, but you have a lot of ground to make up in order to show us that you are making the necessary attempts and efforts to put out what you need to get done. Because your consistent fuck-ups on the same BS is just telling. Honestly, Kinsey, I don't know if you remember from the Beaming Grid days where we had this information. I don't really know if it's like... I'm going to say it regardless, but we know that patch notes and files are sent in pretty... Let's just say they don't have enough time to get the good push out date compared to their release time. I understand that's a problem. I feel like that's an internal problem that KMS to GMS definitely should address. That's one of the things that they need to do. But at the same time, there's no way that the company, both sides, are seeing this and going like, fucking Mint, we can deal with this. We'll just deal with the bugs. And a lot of the event-related bugs, Nexon time and time again has never fixed event bugs on a consistent basis. Sometimes if the event's short enough, they'll go like, we don't care. We're just gonna let it go by. Legends Return, driving, soccer. Who said that?
God.
Yeah.
The fucking screen tear on fucking Boris.
Their code base is probably so old, messy, and poorly maintained that it would be prohibitively expensive to refactor and fix everything. Yeah, definitely.
Buck makes a really good point because, like, this is a 20-year-old game built on spaghetti of, like, 2 different companies, right? Like, it wasn't necessarily legit. Like, I know that it still technically shows up on the launcher or whatever, but, like, the fact that this game is as old as it is, and it's, like, because we're global, we've had just kind of, like, hodgepodge together information from other regions.
Pretty
like,
much.
I know that this is definitely not something that would fly, but, like, I honestly think that the idea of just take Maple down, just take it down and work on it for however long it needs to actually just rebuild its code, like build from the ground up. I'll come back to the game in a year or two if that's how long it fucking takes. I don't really care. Just like having something that is like streamlined and efficient and like actually has like, like doesn't have to deal with all these weird little quirks. Like Jet never would have happened. We never would have to lose Jet if we just had solid code in the first place, right? But when you have a 20-year-old game full of a bajillion different systems and that come from like 6 different fucking places, like, yeah, it's just not gonna fucking work. Are you kidding? That's trying to like slap fucking scotch tape over a hole in a fucking like submarine. It's not gonna fucking work.
Right. And what Smodge said is the same thing as you said, relating to what you said. If you take it down for like a year, it would probably die. But they don't. But here's the crazy part: they don't need to take it down. They can just work on it in the background as a primary focused project and keep the game running at the same time. Deviate a little, hire more manpower, do what you gotta do. I understand that they're hiring a Go West team to accomplish some of the things that they want to get done and what we are assuming they want to get done on our end that we want to see on their our wish list. But it's the fact that they're dragging their heels in this pretty badly in. It's like, at the very least, some things I would like to start seeing improving is just like on the community-based side, because that's what the topic of this one is right now, is to just have a checklist. Like, I understand that copy and pasting is just what they do, but you could at the very least not copy the damn bugs. Like, holy crap. There's no fucking way that you couldn't just say, hey, you're handing us over the files? Good. Was there any issues that we need to know about that you fixed and we can get the fixed version and port it over on day one rather than, again, give them the bugs, fix it later. And coincidentally, from what I can tell, you fix it the same time it took for them to fix it. Like, how?
Yeah, that's always been weird to me. Like, if something came out in, like, KMS or TMS or wherever it comes from, like 3 to 6 months prior, like, it just, why not, like, why are they not having the information ported? Like, why just get the, I don't know, it just makes sense to me, but I assume that there's just disconnect between teams happening to make that happen, but like, it's been consistent so many patches where we've had like day one bugs from other day one events in other places that like, it's gonna be there. Just do it.
Yeah, like how hard is to have QC actually do their job, or actually just more accurately be good at your job. Back when I was in the Marine Corps, I was in charge of QC for my maintenance section for a good while. Although technically every single maintainer was, but I was one of them as well. It's not hard to go down a list. You notice a problem. It becomes a trend. You address it. It's not that hard. Like, I'm assuming it's different for code because I did hardware repairs, but it can't be as hard as going, okay, you had this problem. I'm going to check this before we bring it over. I'm going to check for this. I'm going to check for that. Why? Like, here's the crazier part. They have no excuse for the fact that I'm pretty sure we got Maple C's files because Maple Sea had the Balrog community-driven challenge objective thing that GMS did not get. How did you fuck that up? Like, literally. Okay, my logic of how this happened or why this happened is because KMS gives Maple Sea, because Maple Sea is 2 weeks to a full month ahead of us, and since they translated ahead of time, they give us the translated ones, and we just click, copy and paste, Control V, go and send it. I think that's the reason why.
And then it gets weird because we have a bunch of shit that they don't have.
Yeah, and then like, oh, whoopsies! 13-hour maintenance. Oh, whoopsies! 11-hour emergency maintenance. Oh, whoopsie! Fuck you! This server's down again. Like, what the hell's the reason? Like, there's lazy, and then there's you need to fire the other fucking person. Oh, that's a wall of text. The big difference with software is if they will knowingly ship it with the bugs, is because they can fix it later. Do they though? Yeah, I'm positive that there was some keener 180 IQ devs that went in, tried to refactor everything and do everything you're thinking of a dev environment, but they simply weren't able to do that. Some code bases are such dog shit dinosaurs, literally no one knows how to fix it, and if you just leave it alone, especially if you have assembly code, it might take you years of recruiting to even find a staff level engineer who can attempt to unpack assembly messes. Yeah, even now you're in a coding situation, I understand like the people behind you like made choices and decisions that pretty much cements the reason why you can't touch anything. Like, for example, back when I was in the military, when we had, like, I came into the military, everything was garbage for my unit. I'm glad I left my unit better than I, like, came into it. Like, I understand that everything's gonna come up as bad at some point. It takes a while to improve it, but how long have you been playing this game, Kinsey?
2005, June.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, you actually might play longer than I have. But you will agree that there are so many fucking repeat bull crap that should have been, at the very least, double-checked before it gets pushed out. I don't give a damn if you have a day or two. Give one bastard over there the task of being, hey, check their fucking stuff. They gave you a semi list of checks to do. And just make sure it's not in there. Like, how? How hard is it? I'm to those in the chat or like in the comments for the video, I don't know shit about code. Like, please tell me, how hard would it be to just check A, B, C, and D?
I think not coming from a code background either, but like I think you can check A, B, and C, and if you find something wrong with B that actually correlates to like 4 different processes over in like 7-82B type shit, like that's where it gets fucked up, right? Yeah. And that's where it kind of comes down to like spaghetti code's just your problem. Like it is incredibly, I feel like finding an issue probably not the hardest part, but fixing a problem is insane, especially when you have such a like long convoluted system as Maple that like you can find something, but the process of going through and actually resolving things and like actually testing those things out and then actually pushing them to prod, like that process is long. And that's why we had a maintenance that was as long as it was, because there was a shit ton of different stuff that went wrong, because there was a shit ton of new things that got added. And like I don't think the team that we have is even big enough to be able to like handle that much stuff. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely think that the way that Maplestory is internally structured as like code is a majority of why we have the issues we do, and that like fixing coding takes a very long time. Yeah,
Smosh said, I lack the knowledge to know why, but supposedly the internal testing can't always show the same bugs as the actual real game. That's also true. I've done that via hardware installations before. That's a valid defense for them, I guess, but at the same time,
I definitely think that they just need a bigger QC team, though, too. Like, I would really love that. Like, if there was any place that they were going to, like, hire people or contract something out, let it be QC. Like,
yeah, as ironic as it's going to be coming from me, of all people, but Nexon, you definitely need to have a test server system back up, and just like the amount of dumb bugs that I've found, like and I don't actually make physical reports / tickets because that's arduous as hell. I just submit it to the someone via Discord that can actually relay it, since that's way faster, way simpler. Doesn't need all this middle ground things. It's talk to the players. I'm willing to bet you will find a decently sized handful of the players. As much as we bitch about things, we would be more than happy to volunteer to test and fix things and find things. Not really fix, but find them 100%. Just
I think the main point with like, because I don't think that you could just have a player base, or at the very least, I don't think you could have Maplestory's player base be your
I don't. The lack of trust that
I don't think
they
it should
can't
be
have
public
towards
at
us is
all.
warranted. I can't argue that.
But I think absolutely opening up the idea where you are going to be signing an NDA and you are going to be contractually obligated to report the things that you find. Like if you're willing to, suffer a lot, like actual liability if you don't follow through with what you're being asked of. Like, I think that's like the only way that you could potentially have a player help with testing.
True.
Like you have to make real life ramifications for if they don't.
The last
do
thing
what
you
they're
want to
supposed
have is a informational leak situation again, like they've had in the past, or
like,
what was that? Yeah, what was that really old moderation team that they had before the volunteer mods? Like it was an active player moderation. I'm not gonna get too much into details to avoid bringing up drama and whatnot, but that team respectively was and reasonably was dissolved for reasons that I'm not gonna bring up.
I think having like the reason why you would want to make it so, and this is kind of like ties back to just like the community management type of shit in general, but like allow access, but under a very like strict confine when it comes to like just a player, and on top of that, I like the idea of and like other games have done this as well, where it essentially lets like the player base act as like a tribunal when it comes to moderation for things that aren't like buggy. Like other games will let you basically assuming that you have like a certain level of like trusted status within that game, gives you the allowability to go in and see like chat logs from like a previous interaction that somebody has flagged and reported. And you can be like, yeah, no, that person deserves to be like temporarily suspended or have their chat revoked for 4 days kind of shit. Like I think being able to incorporate a system, something like that, to kind of like offset the amount of like reporting that happens to like, again, like trusted quote unquote players. I think it's Dota that does this, that basically lets like actual players just kind of review games that have been flagged, and then if they're like, yeah, no, this person was definitely griefing, or this person definitely like just sat in base and didn't actually help kind of thing, or was just hawking slurs left and right kind of shit, like, and then you can then like as a person with at least a reasonable moral standing can be like, yeah, no, that's bad, and then do the thing. Like I think being able to offset the workload in places that just a regular person actually can help would then free up the same people that were like, please, we want this, and they're like, we got no fucking time, bitch, like to kind of make that room too, right?
As much as I argue against it, is the fact that the fact that they actually more than likely have a workload that's immeasurable. Definitely having some TOS enforcement and or revisions will be definitely good, because like you mentioned about griefers and stuff, like I forgot which game does it, but there was one game that if you are known to be a griefer, hacker, or one of those like troll ass people, you get put in a restricted server that you can only play with the other people of that type, but the game is like drastically like nerfed for you, so like it's less rewarding, which rightfully so. If you are going to be a dick to other people and ruin people's gameplay, you deserve to have like very little like that. Like for example, if you steal something from somebody, there's no reinforcement. If you KS somebody, there's no reinforcement. There's botting. I've reported like 2-3 people that I remember in the fact that botting that I found in the Kalos entrance lobby, where this guy's just executing a script, and I reported them, and guess what? A couple weeks later, oh, okay, they went from 272 to 285, and they didn't get banned.
Jesus.
Yeah, griefing,
Yeah, I've seen, like,
bug abusing,
first-hand
hacking.
bots.
There's no punishment in the game. But Peanut, people get banned for a week. You call that a punishment? That's barely a slap on the wrist. I understand
Not
that.
gaining EXP.
Oh yeah, wait. Okay, it also depends. Yeah, I will not argue the fact that GMS or maybe GMS in general is like a there's less incentive to not be a abuser. I'm saying this word being thrown around lately. It's called legacy abusing, is where you abuse things for a time within reason to not get punished, like the link skills. Although I feel like Nexon's just being lazy on that one. Realistically, how hard would it be to just A, remove link skill system in there, and B, forcefully reset people's presets so it gets deleted? I'm not trying to punish people like because let's be honest, if people didn't read the patch notes, which I would argue is also their fault as well, but if they didn't see the part that said, oh, link skills do not work in this server, and it's intended not to work in this server, but they didn't read it and they made them anyways, they made a full set of like support link skills that they needed, you can argue there's a gray area there, which I respect Nexon for punishing where it needs to be punished, and like not punishing people for where it was not blatantly abused, and then there's like the fucking familiar dupe and all the other Messels dupe. Okay, that one definitely needed a permanent ban.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to give you a concrete example, I used to work in one of the big tech companies, and there was literally an opening for a staff level position for an old, obscure language that stayed open for my entire tenure. Yeah, that's reality as well. Like, if it's like a very niche thing and no one bothers to learn it, and even if you incentivize people to learn it, even if they do learn it, and if it's something obscure that requires some complex loop-de-loop knowledge and how to navigate it, I would not argue that one. But at this fucking point, hire somebody, send them to a school to learn it, because how old is GMS at this point? It's like 19 years old, 20 years old?
I think like 20 for us.
Right? Yeah, at this point, you just...
Not including beta.
Just invest in it. Just invest in it at this point. You got it. Yeah. Alright.
With the hope that, you know...
Yeah, but before we get to the ending part of this session, I would like to actually bring up some of the results from the survey that I've been posting. Yeah, let me just port you over here, and nothing's fitting the green screen, so I'm going to block the green screen to pretend that I'm actually doing something. Yeah, so one of the few responses that we got, I had 8 total responses. Mind you, this is my fault. I didn't actually properly put the survey without a lot of due process and time, because this was just a on the fly idea. But yeah, one of the responses was for the question of, what do you expect to happen now that there's a new leadership for CM Team? One of the responses was, with fresh leadership, I'm hoping for a renewed focus on improving game balance, adding engaging new content, and addressing the long-standing player concerns. I'm pretty sure we can only expect addressing the concerns part. I also expect a stronger connection between the internal team and the community with more open communication and feedback loops. Overall, I'm optimistic that the changes will lead to a more exciting and sustainable future for the game, where both new and veteran players feel valued and invested. That's optimistic as hell. People writing paragraphs, yeah, that's a good thing though, instead of just like the bottom one where I'll be honest, I don't expect much of anything to change. That one's like unconstructive, I guess. And the second one is, I hope to see a difference in the way Nexon is treating the players. Right now, I believe that that's where most of the issues come from. Some steps and changes they make that don't make any sense. They just spit in the faces of the community sometimes. I agree. Also, that the issue is well known, and every single person that plays the game coding is horrible. Everyone knows that it's horrible because they're a bunch of lazy people that just want to get paid and don't want to work on them, that they are employed by Nexon. We can start with these and move on. I believe this is a huge part of the problem, and I need to be taking problem from the root. And that one we don't know of. I'm pretty sure some of the Nexon
in a way,
stuff.
But like,
yeah, kind of.
The
like
idea
we've got over it.
Saying that, like,
it's there.
Yeah. Like, the idea of saying all of our devs are lazy and just trying to get a paycheck is insane. Like, have you had a job? Like, have you worked in an office? Like, I feel like...
Ironically, I hope they're getting unpaid on salary, because if they're getting overtime for this...
Oh, Lord. Yeah. You think there was, like, 24 hours of maintenance and people didn't work OT?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, come on now. Like, that wasn't one team, too. Like, shift work exists. Like, people were working out the entire time.
Who wants to be awake at 1 a.m. doing this?
No one.
Literally.
Not trying to fix code, that's for fucking sure.
Yeah. Code that is like, if you touch the wrong thing, it goes fucking... point, it dies.
Yeah. I also feel like a lot of the time, like, the collective memory is very, like, short in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Because, like, prior to this update, like, and I've taken breaks in the last little bit and stuff like that, and I haven't, like, kept up to date on the news of Maple, but, like, I can't remember the last time we had a super long, like, day of maintenance.
Big
Period.
Bang.
Like, I don't remember. Yeah, for sure, right?
I think that one was realistically the longest one.
Oh yeah, because that was days. But like in recent times, like in the last 5 years, how many times have we had crazy long maintenances or like
decently often, but not like 13 plus. We had like 10, 11s,
yeah,
so
like
decently often.
here and there, but nothing like insane like an entire fucking day. Like, so the idea to think of that like, oh, the people that are working on our game are just, you know, lazy and not like bothering to actually put in the time to like do their jobs, like that just seems so like unnecessarily hostile. Like these are still people. Like this is a human being that's doing their job and, you know, most likely doing their best to their ability. What that ability is, how many people that can be working on it are completely different things. But like the idea that you're just going to initially just shit on another human being just trying to do their job, like, come on. I don't know. It just feels so unnecessarily aggressive.
That, and I can also agree with the fact on that one, because let's be honest, it's ultimately, they're a victim of their, let's call it their parent company's inability to troubleshoot this stuff and properly and actually make sure that they know what they need to get done. And every single bug that I think we can name is nearly a 1-for-1 from the others that we get. And honestly, if you're gonna port over the files, now that I'm thinking about it, it's probably the originating transfer point where it's the problem. Like, did you have to bring the bugs too? Couldn't you just give us the most recent files and just reset the timer?
Where's the breakdown happening that makes it so that you have to give information that you know is broken?
Like, does someone from company A hate the one from company B because, hey, screw you guys, we had to deal with the problem? It's literally that one episode from Rick and Morty where, like, they time travel back and forth, like, hey, guys, it's your turn to deal with this BS. We're gonna enjoy this fucking Christmas before you do. It's literally that! But I will still not argue the fact that they should definitely be fixing this crap faster and a little bit. There's a priority list, only game-breaking bugs matter, and those aren't common. There's not really game-breaking ones that I'm gonna be talking about, but, like, there's more, like, game prevention ones, like the one with the soccer. Some people literally can't even play it. The driving one. Okay, the driving one, they should have at least accounted for it, expected, especially since we have this big of... We're global. Not everyone's going to be in the same location, so ping is going to be all over the place. But one of my favorite examples of bugs, game-breaking bugs, being fixed in terms of priority lists is Misty Island. To those that don't remember that one, Misty Island is my favorite example simply because of the fact that Misty Island on Tuesday night got removed because it was the end of the thing. And then Wednesday to Thursday night maintenance. Oh, Misty Island, this bug for Misty Island is now fixed. Motherfucker, the event's gone! What priority are you doing? Ugh. Yeah. And now for the second round of responses, I suppose it's time to address that. From our perspective, absolutely nothing will change because the average player is too ignorant to understand what a CM actually does. I blame the clout-chasing former community managers spreading misinformation of the role. I don't really blame them for that one, but I wouldn't also say it's clout-chasing former, like, spreading misinformation. I don't think that was deliberate. Let's be honest, it wasn't. I think it's just the fact that people saw the fact that the previous CMs were the ones who gave a fuck, and I'm pretty sure... I don't remember who the last one was. I think the last one was just an unfortunate casualty in the... I'm just going to name it. The Nero achievement incident. That one, I feel like...
The event.
He was hoping for too much and expecting too much out of the player base. But ultimately speaking, Nero is also a Maplestory player. And arguably speaking, he achieved one of the biggest achievements in Maplestory for GMS. And... if you put that much effort and then you just notice all this stuff, if you snap like that or you like crash out like that, I can't fault you for that one. Popcus, can anyone name all 5 community managers? I cannot. Yeah.
Are there only
But
3?
that response from this guy though, because the average player is too ignorant to understand what a CM is. I feel like it's not because of the fact that they're ignorant of the CM. It's the fact that your latter half of that point was the fact that people have too much of an inappropriate opinion or expectation of what a CM is, because it's community manager. That, and with obviously the predecessors for them, I think that's also tied into a realm. I can't really blame them for that one, but for the fact that you say from our perspective absolutely nothing will change, you're not in the wrong for thinking that, but at the same time, not entirely correct. Yeah. And the next one is, I expect nothing except more business decisions and full-blown silence.
I think that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that last bit though, like, the fact that Callahan's been saying stuff.
A different game or something, but like I feel like there's been a lot of communication. It's not necessarily the communication you want, but like
it's a good amount of it's just a bunch of nothing.
Yeah, like we had a CM posting every 3 to 5 hours during our 25 hours of maintenance.
That one I think if they didn't say it, that would be bad on them. So I don't think this one we should applaud them for. I think that's just.
But I don't think that's something that necessarily is like, I have absolutely had dealt with games where they're like, hey, game's down, and like that's it, kind of thing, right? Like there are definitely situations where, and even Maplestory back in the day does the same fucking shit, right? Like the communication that we have now compared to the communication that we had like 10 years ago is wildly different, right? Like
different, yes. Better.
Maybe not better, but like I would still say that like we get information.
Yeah,
it might just not be enough information or phrased in the way that somebody wants, but I still feel like the communication that we get now compared to the before time kind of thing, like I think it's there. I think it's just gone through so many iterations that there's so many different types of like ways that people put out that information, that like one way that somebody did patch notes was great, but these patch notes aren't great, but like we're still getting these patch notes compared to like I feel like there's so many different instances where it could be so much worse, and I don't that like it just because it can be worse doesn't excuse it from being like
just because we're fortunately at a middle ground
standard. But like the fact that we even get inkwell notes, like I'm still blown away by the fact that somebody takes the time to actually put all that information together, considering we've never had that.
Wait. Yes, we did. Pink bean bulletins.
How long ago?
Those were infrequent, but they were there.
When that happened. Okay, so they existed,
older.
But again, for sure.
Assuming it's 100% writing those notes. I think Smosh, I'm pretty sure they're getting like the footnotes and they're just putting their own spin on things. And I want to know why the hell that thing's usually uploaded as a PNG. I don't know why. That's my confusion. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, because you can click and drag the entire post. I don't get it. Yeah, let's see. As for the next thing, though, nothing considering that we had 3 CMs that didn't communicate with the base. I can't really say yes or yay or nay for that one in terms of yes or no in terms of like a good or bad. Mostly because, as I mentioned earlier, way earlier, was the fact that I think those CMs are unable to say what they want to or can't sway what they have to without huge repercussions, because the leash on them is definitely shorter than the ones before because of the predecessors.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say mistakes, but predecessors' impact of their actions. And there's more supervision over next zoning. The community manager won't have any direct linkage to that one, so I can't really say that one for sure. I'll have to communicate more, but I expect that to happen. Yeah. Ultimately, I want them to fall through with their promise from back then. More open communication and transparency. I just want you to explain yourself.
Yeah.
Like, for example, KMS is notoriously bad for that one. And their prime example that I'm going to quote is the one that I really shouldn't be, because at this point it's beating a dead horse. But the Aaron revamp. The fact that they were scared and they hid from the community when they fucked up 2 classes that shouldn't have been touched at all, when you have an entirety of Resistance. You had the entirety of Kaiser, Phantom, Evan, the tire resistance. I said that already.
Rework.
Yeah, like the things that you needed to work on, you didn't work on for the sake of profits and merchandising was blatantly fucking greedy, and I fucking hate you for that. But I just want the openness and transparency. Like, even at this point, if you told me, hey, we're fucking up this class because X, Y, and Z reason, is better than just saying, hey, we're gonna fuck this class up, fuck you, we're going. Like, just tell me why you're fucking me at this point. I want to know. Because no information makes us speculate and just perpetuates the bad PR that you guys have been cultivating for a decent while. Mind you, you're more than definitely not doing it on purpose, but you're indirectly fueling that concept and perspective that the player base is going to have of that. Like, the things you haven't been doing are doing more negative than the things that you have been doing. You gotta change.
I think we're moving in the right direction, though.
Yeah, but at this point, we're taking like one step forward, and we're taking like a 0.8 step back, and then we're just taking another micro step forward, and it's like the progress you're making is circumventing the ones that you're undoing by the like come on, just literally just steal the ideas of other companies. Community-driven feedback. Old school RuneScape, the fucking Riot thing. Like any fucking game, you're like Nexon should be considered themselves lucky that Maplestory has survived this fucking long. As much as I was saying it before, like a year and a half ago, that I don't expect Maplestory to last any longer than it is, the actions that GMS have been doing, like adding more in-between content, adding more content in general, filling things out. I don't agree with Ascent skills, though. I don't like those. They should have done something else. But I get it. But I'm back on the train when it comes to saying that they're doing the right thing. But you got to address the more important bits first. Yeah, the community bits definitely should have been something that I'm hoping Callahan does things that need to be getting done. He's saying more. Although someone did mention the fact that they're saying that he's only talking more, and is more than likely because he's getting handed what needs to be said, and just being the voice piece right now, which I'm hoping that is not the case. But as much as I say,
it's hard to know that. Like, we don't know how.
I'm pretty sure he just copy and pasted the first one too, by the way, because of that, that tall, solid line bracket that had no justification being there. And I've used ChatGPT before, and I have had those brackets been in there when I copy and paste these there as well. I swear to God, it better not be ChatGPT. It fucking better not be.
That would be fucking something, dude.
Bro, that would literally. Callahan, if you're watching this, I'm not insulting you, but please do what I want you to get done to the patch notes.
And say that it's not.
Yeah. I'm hoping, but just I hope this is not a reflection of future patch notes where you guys don't really proofread this shit. But proofread QC, please definitely do that. Maybe hire my dumbass. I have plenty of time to do that kind of stuff. My English may suck, but at least I can actually spot an ill-placed bracket. Yeah.
I'm hoping for patch notes and preview videos. That's what I want.
At the minimum, I want the patch notes to have the reset dates. The previous event, the Punch King having no reset date, and then the second Punch King of that event having the wrong reset date that they listed. It's like watching a freaking driver, like a BMW driver in LA, turning on his right turn signal and going left. Like, how in the hell did your brain do that?
Magic.
Yeah, I just want basic information that needs to be there. I'm not asking you to jump through loops. Just give me a reset date. Like, I didn't include some reset dates in my breakdown videos for the patch notes because I'm like, yeah, I don't trust you, I don't trust that. And guess what? I was right. It was not the weekly reset. When in actuality, it actually was, because they fucked up. And my assumption was right, but it was wrong because they corrected it, and then it wasn't right. They gotta stop repeating this stuff. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Other than that, if you have anything else you want to close out with, by all means, please say your piece.
Only, I guess, that I am cautiously optimistic. I feel like I usually am when it comes to Maple, but I hope that it will mean that we get more in general. But I will, I'll just wait and see.
I want to say
Pass
I share your
judgment on this man
optimism,
yet.
but is there any lore on why your arms got chopped off? Is that at me or is that at Kinsey?
My chippy? It's
No,
just
her arms
stubby.
are there. A little
His little
barely out of the sleeves.
small.
But yeah, other than that,
Little.
if anyone's actually looking for the next episode of the podcast, those look like stumps. Well, it's chibi, of course they look like stumps. But yeah, for the next podcast, it's going to be the typical end of the event review video. I'm going to have that survey drafted up, I'm hoping before Thursday, so we can actually have adequate amount of time for people to respond, so we can include them in the next video and session. Kinsey, I don't remember if you said you were going to be there, but obviously you didn't, like, if you want to come and go, you're by all means welcome to do so, because I did say this was going to be a 30-40 minute session, and it is an hour and a half.
We're passionate people about our video game. We're gonna.
I am
talk
very
a little
annoyed
extra
person is
about
what I
something.
am. Hello, one thumb. I see you're not banned, dude. The hell? But I can ban you. Ooh.
Don't ban Steven. He's a nice man.
I'll do it. Yeah, other than that, guys, the next episode will be... I think we're going to do the same thing and aim for a Monday like we did last time, if you're okay with Mondays.
Yeah, I'm good.
Alright, so yeah, we'll do it on Monday. The survey, I will hope to have it out. Oh yeah, I'm doing bosses on Wednesday, but I'll hopefully have the survey posted this Thursday on my Twitter and my Discord, and I'll send it over to Kinsey as well to post as well. So if you follow her on her side of this, all these things, she'll have it as well. If you want to leave a response, by all means. And to also actually said in the past, no, it does not collect their information. Google just does that on purpose so people don't multi-spam the thing. They use it as a way to check if people are making multiple accounts. And other than that, we got nothing else to... I don't even remember my own information. Why would I want yours? I reset my password every time. But yeah. Other than that, we got nothing else too big or important to cover for the next episode, but besides the fact that it's going to be the end of the event patch review. So, if you have any opinions or thoughts about the end of the event for this patch specifically, by all means, the survey will be posted this Thursday, I hope, unless my butt is going to be lazy because it's 95 degrees outside and I might be asleep. Other than that, we'll see you on the next video. Bye. Bye.